On this installment of Project 1114, we wrap up our 1991 Mitsubishi Galant VR-4. Welcome back to the Auto Obsessive Garage. Chadwick with you again for another installment of Project 1114. On this final episode, the grand finale if you will, we go over everything that I had to do to bring this 1991 Mitsubishi Galant VR-4 back to factory condition, back to a reliable state of maintenance where it can actually be driven and enjoyed. It's been quite a journey, guys. Let's take a walk down memory lane together. Let's just hold hands, go back in time, see where it all started, look at all the work we did, and see what we ended up with as a final product. This is a great one, guys. This has been a blast. Let's go back and check out Project 1114. Like I said, especially at the BIS, it does not need to be a super significant leak to cause idle issues, surge. I did notice slight surge with this car, but not like my other one. So let's replace that BIS O-ring. So we've got the axle out of the Galant VR-4. As you can see, the axle itself is in fantastic shape. Definitely needs a cleanup. That boot is still holding well, even though we are going to replace it. This one, not so much. The boot has failed. I need to really inspect it. When I pull it off, I'll take a look. But it is nearly empty of grease, and all the grease was slung up under the front of the car, so. Really want to show the severity of the manifold cracks here on the bottom side. So we are looking at the bottom side of the exhaust manifold, and these cracks here are just exceptionally bad. I mean, look at them on the runners, on both these runners, and it goes all the way around to the top side. So that's a pretty serious crack. Down here, another huge crack running all the way up that runner. So once we got the O2 sensor housing out, you can see the cause of something that definitely doesn't benefit a turbo. The wastegate flapper area has a huge crack in it, so that is definitely going to impact performance for sure. Also, something interesting is look how white the turbines are. It's like it got really, really hot at one point in there, and that makes me think maybe there was an internal oiling issue. It does look like it was leaking oil up here with the feed line, so yikes. I mean, here's a little peek at the accessory belts and pulleys on the Galant VR-4. As you can see, there's a little bit of coolant. You can see some drops here. Definitely gonna find out that water pump's leaking. I bet. I'll put money on that. But you can see. What was crazy is when I pulled the fill plug off the transfer case, a ton of fluid just came pouring out, which means it was certainly overfilled. The other interesting thing is that the fluid coming out is the exact same fluid that was in the transmission, so not sure if this car was taking like a quick lube or whatever. You come in here and you're like, okay, things don't look horrible, and then I take a flashlight and do this. Yeah, look at that. That is an oil slick and a half. Just going right down the whole side of the engine there. All back in there too. It's just gnarly. We got to get in there and clean that off. I don't want to do, obviously it's valve cover, and it looks like whoever did the valve cover last did a pretty questionable job. Look at all that delicious gasket maker squeezing out there. So it's been a while, so let's get in there. But you can see the trim here is pretty faded. So this is the exterior door trim. I've never seen it this bad, so this definitely needs another coat of trim paint for sure to pretty it up. And it's really bad. I mean, it's almost gray to white at this point. The other. All right, here's our BIS, nice and cleaned up. And you can see the new O-ring on there. So I also got the capacitors redone from ECM Tuning, and on top of that, I also had a chip installed or at least the slot, so it can be programmed if anyone wants to get ECM link or anything like that to tune this ECU in the future. So it's always nice to do that, little bonus to the next owner. Pretty much just the opposite of taking the unit out, putting the new one in. We're gonna just drop it in. You know, turn your VR-4 faded trim into something nice. Like you can see here, this is gonna look wonderful.